great project starts with a feeling, a core vision, kind of like this one. And notice how this is way more than just a simple description. It's evocative, it's emotional. This one sentence sets the entire mood for a really compelling story about America. It establishes that feeling of quiet resilience and grandeur before a single shot is even created. So here's our game plan. We're going to walk through this process in 5 clear steps. We'll show you how to build a complete visual narrative, starting from that first little spark of an idea all the way to a fully realized film sequence. All right, let's dive into section 1, the cinematic vision. So before we even touch any technology, we have to define the heart of our story. Honestly, this is probably the most important step. It's the why behind everything, and it's going to guide every single creative choice we make from here on out. And look, the goal here is crystal clear. This isn't just about making a bunch of pretty pictures. It's about telling a deeply human story. Words like identity, struggle, hope, connection, these are the emotional pillars of our documentary. Every single image that the AI generates has to serve this core purpose. Okay, so we've got our emotional goal locked in. Now, how in the world do we actually communicate that to an AI? Well, that brings us to our next big step, crafting the master prompt. You got to think of this thing as the blueprint for your entire film. It's the one document that makes sure every clip feels cohesive and intentional. So what is a master prompt exactly? You can think of it as the director's brief that you're giving to the AI. It's basically one detailed paragraph that lays out the theme, the tone, the visual style, the lighting. It's the creative DNA for the entire project. Now this, right here, this is where the magic happens. Look at how we're breaking down that big, abstract emotional vision into technical language that an AI can actually understand. We're translating a feeling into an instruction. So a reflective tone becomes soft, natural lighting. A human-centered feeling is created using a shallow depth of field. It's that blur in the background that draws us right into a person's world. This translation, this is the key to getting the exact visual style you're picturing in your head. All right, we've got our master blueprint. Now it's time to actually build the film, shot by shot. This is where we deconstruct that big idea into specific, actionable prompts that are going to generate each individual scene for us. So, our very first prompt. This is our big establishing shot. It sets up that grand, sweeping scale we talked about in the beginning. We're telling the AI exactly what we want to see. The time of day, the landscape, the colors, even the type of shot. It's super specific. And then, boom. We immediately pivot from this epic wide shot to something incredibly intimate. This prompt is all about the little details, the texture of the hands, the glowing dust, things that suggest a life of hard work and a deep connection to the land. It brings that big abstract idea of resilience down to a very real human level. And here's another fantastic example of prompting for emotion. The key words here, quiet emotional connection and soft warm lighting, they aren't just descriptive. They're instructions for a feeling. We're literally asking the AI to capture a silent, powerful human moment. This next prompt directly tackles that theme of diversity from our original vision. And by asking for a series of faces all looking straight into the camera, we're creating this direct line of communication with the audience, building that sense of shared experience that really ties the whole film together. And here we pull back out again. But this time, instead of an empty landscape, we're showing a community, a place, from this grander perspective. This aerial shot gives us context. It shows how all those individual lives fit into the larger tapestry of a town. Okay, so let's take this whole technique a step further. We can use these prompts not just to create beautiful standalone scenes, but to tell a story of evolution over time. Let's imagine we wanted to visualize the history of that same small town. This is such a cool and powerful technique. By creating 2 totally distinct prompts for the exact same location, we can literally tell a story of change. You see on the left, words like archival 16mm film and grainy texture, they instantly make us feel like we're in the past. Then on the right, 4K drone shot and hyper-realistic detail pull us right into the present. The story isn't just in what we see, it's in the contrast between the 2 prompts. And using that contrast, you could build out a whole visual timeline. You can generate shots for the 60s, then the 90s, and then today, and create a sequence that actually shows the passage of time. And suddenly, a simple montage becomes a really powerful story about history, about growth, and about what stays the same. So what's the big takeaway from all this? This whole method of deconstruction is incredibly empowering. It gives you a framework to be the director, to translate your own unique vision into a tangible, visual story that AI can help you bring to life. It really just boils down to these 4 steps. Start with your why, that core emotional idea. Then build your blueprint, the master prompt. After that, break it all down into individual shots. And finally, you can get creative, play with contrast and sequence to tell even more complex stories. It's a clear path from a simple idea to a fully realized narrative. Look, these tools are getting more powerful and more accessible every single day. And now you have a blueprint for turning your ideas into reality. So the real question isn't if you can tell your story anymore, it's what story are you going to choose to tell? What are those unseen moments and grand visions just waiting for you?